There is a cardinal in your yard right now who has been quietly choosing allies and enemies for weeks. He follows some birds without hesitation. He tenses the moment certain others land nearby. Most people watching a feeder see one peaceful group. He does not see it that way at all. Not because he's confused, because nobody ever told you what to look for. Subscribe to Bird Sense right now. This is exactly the kind of thing we uncover every week. And what your cardinal has been deciding about every bird around him. That is what changes everything. To understand what he is actually doing, you have to understand what he has been building every single time another bird lands nearby. Cardinals form loose, but real associations with certain species, especially chickadees and titmice, following their movements through the yard, because those birds are often the first to spot danger. Researchers studying mixed species flocks have found that cardinals position themselves closer to these species specifically, staying within earshot of their alarm calls, using other birds as an early warning system. He never has to build from scratch himself. It is a partnership he never signed up for in any obvious sense, and yet he leans on it constantly, every single day. Whether you ever notice the pattern or not, watch closely enough, and you will start to see it too. A cardinal rarely straying far from wherever the chickadees happen to be working through the branches, almost as if he were quietly attached to them by an invisible thread only he can feel. Here is where it gets strange. A chickadee's alarm call is not one single sound the way it might seem from a distance. It actually encodes how dangerous a threat is, and other species, including your cardinal, appear to understand the difference. A call with more D notes at the end signals a more serious predator, and a cardinal reacting to that call responds differently, depending on how many notes he hears, not just whether he heard one at all. He is not simply hearing noise in the trees. He is reading language built by a completely different species and responding to it as though it were information meant for him too, translated in real time without either bird ever meeting face to face on purpose. No shared nest, no shared territory dispute most days, just a signal passed across species lines, understood well enough to change how a cardinal behaves within seconds of hearing it, which means the cardinal at your feeder this morning has already decided which birds are worth listening to and which ones he mostly tunes out entirely. Chickadees and titmice get trust. Sparrows get a kind of casual tolerance. But certain birds get something closer to open suspicion, and blue jays are near the top of that list. Jays are loud, bold, and quick to raid a feeder, but they are also known nest predators, capable of taking eggs and nestlings from other species whenever the opportunity presents itself. A cardinal with a nest nearby treats a jay's presence as a genuine threat worth watching closely, not background noise to filter out along with everything else. Sparrows rarely trigger that same level of attention, no matter how many of them crowd the same feeder at once, because the actual risk they pose is nowhere close to the same. Most people watching a feeder assume every bird there is simply eating together in peace, sharing the same space without any deeper arrangement behind it. The truth is closer to a temporary truce than an actual friendship. Chickadees benefit from a cardinal's larger size and his willingness to stand ground near a hawk sighting instead of scattering immediately. Cardinals benefit from a chickadee's constant vigilance and its rapid, detailed alarm signaling whenever something changes nearby. Jays benefit from the chaos they can cause, scattering smaller birds long enough to grab whatever they originally came for. None of them are choosing this consciously, the way you or I might choose an ally on purpose, but the pattern holds up again and again across different yards and different seasons. It is closer to an arrangement built entirely out of mutual convenience than anything resembling actual affection between species. But researchers found something they did not expect when they looked closer at these mixed flocks over time. The same chickadee that acts as an early warning system for a cardinal, will also aggressively defend feeding territory against that very same cardinal the moment food becomes limited. The alliance is not permanent loyalty in any fixed sense. It shifts depending on what is actually at stake in that particular moment, meaning your cardinal is tracking not just who to trust, but when to trust them, recalculating constantly as conditions in your yard change throughout the day. Sometimes within the same hour, a feeder that felt cooperative at sunrise can feel openly contested by mid-afternoon, and nothing about the birds involved has to change for that shift to happen. Only the amount of food still available, which means the cardinal outside your window right now is also keeping track of specific individual birds, not just entire species in general terms. Studies on feeder hierarchies have found that dominant individuals, cardinals among them, recognize specific rivals they have encountered before and adjust their behavior accordingly, avoiding repeated conflict with a bird that has already proven difficult to displace in the past. He is not treating every blue jay the same way by default. He may already know that one particular jay in your yard is worth avoiding entirely, while a completely different one barely registers as a concern at all to him. That kind of individual recognition takes repeated encounters to build, which means the rivalry you're watching today was likely shaped by something that happened between these exact two birds weeks or even months earlier. Here is where it gets even stranger. Some of these relationships extend beyond simple caution into active cooperation during nesting season, when several species will mob a genuine predator together, cardinals included, diving and calling in unison at a hawk or snake that none of them could safely confront alone. The same birds who compete over your feeder in July may be working together in May to drive away something that threatens all of their nests equally, meaning the lines between rival and ally in your yard are never fixed for long. Tomatillo. Shifting with the calendar itself as much as with the moment at hand, a truce born entirely out of shared, mutual danger can dissolve the instant that danger fully passes, with no hard feelings carried forward on either side at all. Which means the next time you look at your feeder and see a cardinal, a chickadee, and a blue jay all present within the same few minutes, you are not looking at one peaceful gathering at all. You are looking at a shifting arrangement of trust, tolerance, and open rivalry, recalculated by every bird involved, based on the season, the threat, and the individual histories they already carry with each other. Your cardinal already knows exactly who he can count on right now. He probably already knows exactly who he cannot, and every single visit to your yard becomes another entry in a running account only he is keeping, updated in real time, never written down anywhere you could ever read it, and yet somehow never forgotten either. The next time 3 or 4 species share your feeder at once, look a little closer. What looks like peace from your kitchen window might just be the current terms of a truce that could shift again before the day is even over.